Good evening, everyone. Welcome. We are broadcasting live from the K21 Foundation building, and this is CASA, the Holiday Festival. The title of the festival this year is called Mountains of Challenge and Rivers of Hope. I'm Jim Brennan. I work for WRSW and Willie 103.5 and News Now Warsaw. And with me is Aaron Rowland, who's the Executive Director of CASA, and we are live.
Live. We're doing it.
Yeah, this is fun. This is the annual fundraising event. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to have a fun evening tonight. I tell you what, I want to introduce Aaron, and I want to give you an opportunity to tell a little bit more who you are. And I tell you, you're perfect for this position. Go on. Tell us about yourself.
My name is Erin Rowland Jones, and I just began in this position in August. I am a Warsonian, born and raised, and I came back to Warsaw about 15 years ago to start practicing law. I was feeling like I wanted to be a little bit more fulfilled, so when the opportunity came up for me to apply for the job of Executive Director of CASA, I did, and here I am today, and I've loved every minute of it.
I tell you, it's a good choice. You got the credentials, and that's great. You're going to help the organization quite a bit, that's for sure. You are the perfect pick because you've got great enthusiasm, and you've got this direction, and give us a little bit of a feel now of where CASA is today.
Sure. So for those of you that aren't as familiar with CASA, we recruit, train, and supervise community volunteers who advocate for the best interests of abused and neglected children that are part of the court system. And so in doing that, they speak with the children frequently, they talk to the families, teachers, counselors, and they just want to get a feel for who that child is, what the situation is, and what's best for that child. Yeah. And then they report that to the court. So they're in essence the eyes and ears of the court, and they're also the voice of the child. And sometimes these children haven't had much of a voice, and so this allows the child to have a voice in what's happening to him or her. I just want to tell you, to date, we have 67 CASA volunteers here in Kosciusko County. We are advocating for 187 abused and neglected children.
That's a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately it is. Yeah. And these volunteers have donated over 3,600 hours of their time year to date today. We also have 88 CASA offices in 92 of the Indiana counties. So Indiana is very supportive of CASA. And this year, as you know, has been a little bit difficult. It's been some mountains of challenges.
Really?
It's been very difficult for us to be able to see our children as often as we'd like. There was a period of time we could only see them virtually, which is not ideal for us, but we want to make sure we see them no matter if it's virtually or in person. And it's hard to recruit and train volunteers. Sure. So we've had some challenges, but that's why we're here today, to let you know what we're doing and how we can overcome those mountains of challenges.
That's right. We're going to meet the challenge.
Absolutely.
And I tell you, and these people watching are going to help us.
They are.
Absolutely. Well, we sure hope we do. Well, tonight is going to be a lot of fun. You know, our main goal is to raise some funds to support this phenomenal organization. And here's kind of what's on the template for tonight, okay? What we're going to be doing, we have some special messages that we're going to share with you from some of our CASA volunteers. They'll be showing up through video. We also have, we're going to stop in at a watch party and see what that's all about. We've got silent auction items. Now this is where we make a little bit of money.
Yes.
And this is where you can step up and help us out. Now you can do this on your mobile device. You can bid and make donations. And here is what you do. Go to casakc2020.ggo.bid. I know it's a long one, but you're going to see it on your screen here at some point, maybe right now, but throughout the evening you'll be seeing that. So now if you've got two devices, you can use one to make your bid or donations, and the other one you can watch the stream.
Absolutely. Okay. We encourage you to do that.
Absolutely. Have some fun with us. Now, speaking of some of the things that we're going to bid on, or what you can bid on, wakeboards are so cool. Okay, we've got that. We have kayaks. If you want to get away, you can get away to French Lick. If you've ever been there or not been there, phenomenal place. If you want to go up north to New Buffalo, we've got weekend getaways up there as well. And a couple of special experiences too, right, Erin?
We do. Yeah. Some local community members have offered these really great, one-of-a-kind, priceless priceless experiences. The Grandins are hosting cocktails, confections, and art world confessions. C. Grandin is a art dealer, and she's inviting 16 guests who would win this in the auction to her home for some food, some drinks, some conversation about the art world, as well as being able to see some one-of-a-kind, amazing, world-renowned artists' work right here in Warsaw.
Wow.
And then we also have Jim and Jennifer Lancaster hosting Paintings and Pairings, where Jennifer will walk you through creating your own painting, your own work of art. And they'll also be offering flights of wine, bubbles, whites, and reds, and food to go with that. So that sounds delicious and fun.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Am I exempt from bidding? No.
No, you can bid.
I can still bid too.
I forgot one. You mentioned the New Buffalo home, and that is a 4-bedroom home on a private beach a mile from New Buffalo, 2 fireplaces, sleeps 15. So that's a pretty neat trip as well.
Wow.
Yep.
That sounds like a girl's week.
And a puppy.
And yes, the Havishon puppy.
Havishon puppy.
Forgot about that.
Yep.
So anyway, that's what's going on tonight. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to be all over this building, and we'll be sharing a lot of that with you. One of the things we wanted to talk about, and Aaron alluded to it just a little while ago, about the court system and kind of how this works. And we thought it'd be really important for you to see this next video. You want to set this up for us?
Sure. The next video is Judge David Cates. He's Kosciusko Superior Court 1 judge, and he deals with all the child in need of service action cases, which are heard in Kosciusko County. So he's very familiar with CASAs and the children that go through that court system.
So roll the tape.
If CASA did not exist in Kosciusko County, children would have a lesser voice than they have now. CASAs are critically important in my court. I'm David Cates, judge of the Kosciusko Superior Court number 1. I've been judge of that court now for almost 6 years. My court includes all of the juvenile jurisdiction in Kosciusko County. These CASAs are the voice for a child who may not have any other voice. The CASAs provide information to the court that the court may not get in any other way. The CASAs advocate on behalf of these children, and that advocate may be the most stable person and possibly even the only stable individual that that child will know. When we have a child in need of services, that results from parents being incarcerated due to drug issues. Anything we can do to assist these parents in dealing with their demons should trickle down and help that child. Kosciusko County is lucky to have a CASA program that is strong, that can advocate on behalf of children. Getting these kids back in a sober, safe home with their parents, where parents can parent their own children, is our goal.
Thank you, Judge Cates. Boy, the guy works hard. It works hard for the CASA kids too.
He does.
You know, and I tell you, if he's got a great volunteer, we can get a lot of work done.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's
that's
the
right.
volunteers.
I'd like you to tell us a little bit more about CASA, that it is a professional organization. It's not a little thing.
That's correct. We are a nonprofit organization. We get all of our funding through fundraising or grants primarily, and half of our budget comes from this holiday festival fundraising. So it is an important event for us. This year's a little different. It's our 19th annual holiday festival, but the first virtual one. The funds allow us to recruit, train, support our CASA volunteers. And again, they're the ones going out, meeting with these kids all the time, developing really great relationships and advocating for them. And as you heard Judge Cates say, we have 67 volunteers, but we could use triple that. There's definitely a need there. And there's the need for funds to help us train those folks.
What, speaking of funds, what are the various levels of fund a need?
Sure. We have several fund a needs that we have set up tonight where you can donate. Okay. And I've put crunched some numbers so you can see what that dollar amount means. Yeah. A $250 gift will support the cost of training one volunteer, while a $500 donation will support the cost of training and supporting 2 volunteers. The next level we have is the gift of advocacy. That's a $1,000 fund they need, and what that does is support a CASA to be in a child's life for a year. Same CASA, working monthly, weekly to advocate for that child. The next level would be the gift of brighter futures, and that will support a child having a CASA volunteer through the duration of their case, because they're not always done quickly.
Cases can last a couple of years, maybe even more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that would cover that, $2,000. That would be helpful.
Absolutely. And then the $5,000 gift of leadership will support the training of 20 volunteers, which in 2021, that is our goal, to recruit, train, and support 20 new volunteers. The other way to look at that is that will give 3 families a CASA for the duration of their case, for 1 to 3 years. And some of these families are sibling groups of up to 10 children. So it takes a little bit more time when there's more kids.
Yeah, sure.
But again, there's that need for that one-on-one attention and the research and time with those children that our CASA give.
So how can we give? How do we do that?
Good question. When you're at our silent auction, at the top of the page, you'll see a button. It says Fund a Need. If you click that link, you'll go right to the page that has all these levels that I just discussed, but you can donate any amount. Any amount would be welcome.
Okay, good. Follow those instructions. Very important. You know, we got some great volunteers in this organization, just people that open their hearts and really help. And I want you to meet one right now, and her name is Amber.
I've always had a heart for vulnerable kids. I know there are many in our community, and there's lots of different ways to be involved. I kind of felt like this was my way to kind of give back and be a voice for kids that need someone to kind of speak for them and stick up for them. Being a CASA to me just basically has been being the one person that's consistent in the child's life. They might have different caseworkers come in and out. They might be placed with different relatives or foster families, but I have been the one constant. I'm the one that is asking about their tests, you know, asking about their friends at school or what was good about their day. I know what their interests are. I know, what games they like, or if they're into Pokemon, or, what music they like, that kind of thing. So I think basically just being there for them, listening to their concerns about the situation, and then making sure that I advocate for what's best for the child. A lot of times these kids, they're not going to be able to go into the courtroom. They aren't going to be able to speak on their best interest. And so for me, it's understanding the case, it's understanding all the different players, it's understanding the child so that I know what is going to be best for them, and then relaying that to the judge and whoever is ultimately making those decisions. If you've ever thought about being involved in CASA, if you have a heart for kids, now would be the time to really jump into that, contact the CASA office, and get signed up.
That is a great video. Amber is awesome, isn't she? Yeah. We are broadcasting live from the K21 Foundation, and this fundraiser is called Mountains of Challenges, Rivers of Hope. So that means if you're on a mountain, you got to have a base station, right? Come on, we're going to see the base station, the base camp right here. This is where everything happens. It all comes here. All the donations and so forth comes right in here, and it lands in this computer, and the person running this computer is Janelle Meyer.
Hi.
How are you? You're the program director for CASA. What does that mean? What do you do?
So the program director, I have a lot of different shoes that I fill. I do a lot of the community relations, going out and talking to people. So if you're needing somebody to come talk about CASA, we would love the opportunity to do that. I also do the training, and I do some supervising of volunteers as well.
Good. So also the bids come in here. And much
Yes.
activity, yes, starting to happen.
Yeah.
Starting to build up.
People are starting to bid on things, and that's great.
We love that. And there's going to be some bidding wars. I can already tell by seeing some of those numbers.
Yes.
So Let's see. Now, do you want to tell me how easy it is for someone to be a CASA volunteer?
Absolutely. So to become a CASA volunteer, you go through a training. It's about 33 hours of training. We spread that out. And that is really helping you make sure that you know, because we take ordinary people to do an extraordinary job. So we will give you all the tools that you need with that. And then we have staff that support you along the way, even after the training. So the way we go about doing that is you turn in an application. You can go to our website, which is casachildren.com, or you can just call into the office and I'll answer any questions that you have. Our phone number is 574-372-2401.
I can remember CASAchildren.com. That's good. And that's a great website, and that's a local website too. You're not hooked into some national thing where you got to find your way out of it. So it's local. Thank you, Jenna. We had mentioned that we're going to check in on a watch party. Let's do that right now. Let's go over to their house. Look at everyone over there. This is Jill and John Serbosic's house. Hello, everybody. Good. Tell me what's going on over there. Let's go over to their house. Look at everyone over there. This is Jill and John Serbosic's house. Hello.
Good evening. So sad we're not together in person. Yay. Next year we will. We need to mute that.
We'll be together.
We have a fun group tonight.
Sounds like you're having a great time. Have you guys been doing bidding?
Next year we will. Hey, I'm not done bidding on that car wash thing. Whoever is going for that is going to have to deal with me later because I want all those car washes for the next 2 years. But hey, I've got a great group of friends here tonight. I've got the Clemenses, I got the Watkinses, I got the Freemans, and I got the Serbosics. So we are all here. Yay! And you know what? We're about to kick off Fund a Need, and I've got money. These guys are giving me money. So come on, everybody, start donating to Fund a Need. And hopefully we're going to get, a couple grand going just in our party.
That's awesome.
Back to you, Jim.
Really great job. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go to a video, and we're going to watch Dennis and Linda Birch. So pay attention.
Well, I became a CASA 9 years ago in 2011. In that 9 years, I've been a CASA for 28 children.
I've been a CASA almost 5 years. I've had 7 families I've worked with and 15 children.
Well, I was a teacher in middle school for many, many years. There was several students through the last few years that I was teaching that really just almost broke my heart because they needed so many things. And so when I retired from teaching, I was very anxious to become a CASA because I thought, as a CASA, I will have something that I can do that's more for those kids than what I could do as their teacher.
My favorite is early elementary and going to school and going out on the playground and the child being so happy to see me and takes a hold of my hand and wants me to line up to walk in with her from recess. I don't feel like we're involved that much, but the bonding that takes place with that child and how, just like that little girl, she wanted me to come with her to come into school to her class. So that's a pretty special memory.
They know they're cared about. And that's what anybody can do as a CASA that loves kids. They can show the kids that they're cared about and show up often enough that the children realize that someone is keeping an eye on them and is there to find out what's going on in their lives.
This isn't something the judge appoints you to and you're out here on your own. We have a super CASA staff that they have a lot of experience in every area we touch to help support, give us ideas, who we need to contact, and help me in writing my report to make sure it says what I want to say. There's a need, there's a huge need out there of children needing. And as a volunteer, carving in 6 hours, 20 hours a month in a very flexible schedule, especially the retired schedule, to being able to plug into the different meetings. The retired person, please figure out how you want to volunteer and to invest in the life of a child.
Thank you, Dennis and Linda. It's a great video. Appreciate your contribution and help. We are broadcasting live from the K21 Foundation. We have left the base camp. We're back on the mountaintop again, up in the loft. Beautiful building. Dennis and Linda gave us some good information, but I'd like you to kind of tell us in a practical sense what it is they do.
Sure. They are, as I spoke before, meeting with the child quite a bit, at minimum every 30 days, but typically more. And what I find interesting is, yes, they're the eyes and ears for the court. There's value in that. They're the voice of the child. There's value in that. But they are also one positive, caring person that is in that child's life during the most tumultuous time of their life. They've been removed from home, family, maybe attending a different school. It's a lot for a child. And so to have someone meeting with you frequently, caring about you, knowing your likes and dislikes, and just being there for you, listening, there's huge value in that.
Yeah, great comfort. Kids need that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as Judge Cates said, Indiana understands the value of CASA. By state law, you have to appoint a CASA or a guardian ad litem in every child in need of service action, and those are those child welfare cases. But not all states are the same. Not all states require that. And there have actually been some studies done, Jim, that outline why that is so important for kids to have a CASA. So children with a CASA spend less time in long-term foster care, which is important. They also experience fewer out-of-home placements. Again, if you can keep a child safely at home, that's important. Also, children with a CASA have found to have significantly improved educational performance. So real value to what we do outside of the eyes, the ears, the voice.
Well, in order to keep up doing what it is you do and the rest of the volunteers, we need some debt.
We do.
And there's an interesting auction item right there. I just happened to see what that was. What is that?
Well, those are some beautiful, almost carrot Art Deco style earrings from Chapman Jewelers. I was going to model those, Jim, but I was afraid that they would leave with me, and I don't know that my husband would appreciate that.
Take those off.
But these are just one of the many great items we have on the auction, but these are stunners. So
they are beautiful.
Bid. They'd
really
be a great holiday gift, husbands, boyfriends, wives, whomever. They'd be good for anyone.
Well, you know, we're trying to make money for this organization, but we all got off to a good start with our sponsors.
Absolutely.
Who are they?
Well, we have different levels of sponsors. I want to focus a little bit and thank our platinum sponsors. That's Sylvia's Insurance Group, Fred and Karen Rowland, and the Downtown Eatery, and Christy and Will Boren. We also have gold sponsors we want to highlight and thank today on the air, and that's Wymet, DePuy Synthes, and Zimmer Biomet. And in fact, we have a couple of really special messages from two of those sponsors.
On video.
Roll.
Hi, my name is Craig Snow. I'm chairman of the board at Sylvia's Insurance Group. And here at Sylvia's Insurance Group, what we do is we sell crop insurance across the country. Our mission at Sylvia's Insurance Group is we want to honor God by enriching the lives of the people that we encounter while helping the American farmer manage his or her risk. But we employ a lot of people, and we so much enjoy that, and it's our way of giving back, providing jobs, and being able to use some of those resources to provide for different people in our community, such as corporations or organizations like CASA. It gives us an opportunity to use those resources that we work so hard for and provide a way that maybe we can't actually be the advocates, but we can help spend money towards their efforts. Especially with times like these children need a voice. And so we invest in them knowing that they do a wonderful job of training. And so we know that money is getting spent well. And I encourage you all to possibly give towards that for that effort to help them train well those advocates, again, for being a voice for that child. CASA is a great organization, and we are privileged to be able to use some of our resources and share it with them so that they can help the children in our community.
Hi, I'm Chad Whitehead. I'm Vice President here at Wymet Incorporated. We're a family-owned business. My mother and father started the business over 50 years ago here in Kosciusko County. We're a metal finishing business. We do finishing service for mainly medical devices here in Warsaw. Being a family-owned business, we've been involved as much as possible in the Kosciusko community. It's always been one of our principles to help, to give back, to help those around us.
Hello, my name is Lori Whitehead Stutzman, and I'm the president at Wymet. I think Wymet's known for our family focus. We hire a lot of employees that need a second chance. Then maybe they're down on their luck, but they're good people. And the family is our foundation. So when they came to us with CASA and said, can you help with CASA? Yeah, we're all in. I think it's important to support CASA because they're part of this community and they're an important part of the community. They support children, they advocate for children. The children are what our future is, so it's important that we support them.
They represent the children of the county that are in situations that they didn't put themselves in. They're in a place that they really need the help, so I think it's very important to be involved in that.
The people that run CASA are good, but you really have to think beyond that and think beyond this group that's watching this video. It's for our community, and it's been an especially hard year for the children. I think if you're watching right now, there's extra money that you could give. Even if it's just a little bit, it'll make a big difference.
A big thank you to our sponsors. Great video. Thank you guys very, very, very much. We are back at base camp where all the action is happening here. We've got Janelle Meyer, and you've been busy tonight.
Yes.
And it's great. And we want you to keep on being busy. But you've got helpers over here.
Absolutely.
Because you can't do it all by yourself.
Yeah.
Who you have?
Yeah, we have our advocacy specialists here in the office. We have Amy Kinsel and Lori Carlin. They are the advocacy specialists. They're the ones who are supporting our volunteers. They are the ones just walking right alongside the volunteers the whole way.
So what are they doing tonight? What are their responsibilities?
They're helping us watch who's bidding, and they're chatting up with you guys. If you have any comments, you can always add to the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chat away.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Tell me about the auction items now. Do we have some? We got some wars going on there.
Yeah. People want to go to New Buffalo.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess it's a great big house. And
Yes.
it's just right on the beach, right on the water.
Absolutely.
And it would be cool. It'd be like a great girls' weekend,
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's close enough that you can do it in a day and great.
Yeah.
Yep.
What other items seem to be showing some promise?
Yeah, so the Do experiences with C. Grandin and her art experience, as well as the Lancaster's painting and pairings, are going really well. Mm-hmm. French Lick, though, isn't getting in too much of a bidding war yet. So I would say if you're interested in going to French Lick, that's also a great experience to go to.
I have been to French Lick.
Yeah.
It is quite an experience. It's a neat old place down there.
And that puppy, I will say, I know you guys have talked about, it's a cute little puppy that's ready to come home with you today. And it's definitely under its value right now.
It's a Havishon puppy.
Havishon puppy.
And you are very fond of saying that it's hypoallergenic, it doesn't shed.
I'm a no-shed dog home, so absolutely.
Okay. Well, I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. There are items that you get. What was the thing about the wakeboard?
Yes, there's a wake surfboard. The top bid is a little less than half of the market value. My son and my granddaughters have one of those, and I watched them this summer on it. It's a lot of fun. a good family activity. So that's a great item to bid on.
Amy, do you have one?
There are a lot of man cave items with very low bids. If you've got a man cave you need to decorate, this is the place to shop.
Well, we can go to, if you want to bid and see these items, go to casakc2020.ggo.bid. I know it's a lot. I think it's been on the screen a couple of times, and it'll probably be on again. So.
And we're only going to be open until 9, so start bidding and getting those going. But I will say the Fund a Need is going to be out there for a week. So if you are watching this recorded and you want to come back on and still give a Fund a Need, you can still do that. But these items are only going to be here until 9.
Perfect. We didn't even talk about this beautiful graphic.
Yep. So we are right now right above 90,000. We would love to bring it up that mountainside and see those Fund a Needs coming in. We've had a few come in already. Bill and Patty McCarrick gave $1,000. Isaac and Dora Mensa, they gave $500, and we've had several $150 as well, because any amount will help us make it up that mountainside.
That is awesome.
Yes.
That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. This is great. Yeah, let's get this line to go up a little bit higher. All
Absolutely.
Right. We need to have you see someone else, a young woman, Stacy Gagnon, nurse, foster mother, has 7 children. She and Darren adopted 5 in addition to that. And she founded an organization called Lost Sparrow. I want you to meet Stacy Gagnon.
And I also had
You got something in your arm.
a shot.
Okay.
And it hurted. And they had to take a shot on my leg.
And did it hurt?
No.
Because that's your superpower. That's right. You can get shots and you're like, give me 5. Give me 20. My kids are like the greatest blessing in my life. They all have taught me so much about what love really is and what we are supposed to do in this world.
I got it, but I could do some tricks.
I can't imagine my life not having walked this. My kids are just such a gift. Such a gift. My husband and I have 7 children. 5 of our children are adopted. My oldest is in college. My next child is in high school. I have 1 in junior high, and then the rest are in elementary school. And so we kind of have the gamut of dealing with different issues across the lifespan right now. Best day ever. That's good.
And then me and Mrs. West find it.
Really? Did you like the dinosaur meeting the bus today? A child coming into your home is living out of what we call survival brain, or the bottom of the brain, because they have had a lot of trauma. Just being removed from the only home they've ever known, whether it's a home that's not safe or not, that's what they've known as being safe and secure to them. And so coming into my home is honestly sheer terror, right? They've been stripped from everything that they know to be secure and safe. We basically are making everything like Groundhog Day. It is, oh, this is the time we go to bed. This is what bedtime routine looks like. This is what we do in the morning. There's always snack at this time. Meals are always this time. And it is basically cocooning and creating an atmosphere for a child that is absolutely calm and the same until we build relationship. I know, that's so sweet. We all have an internal monologue or an internal voice that is telling us something. And so children who have grown up in a family or grown up with a lot of relationships that are supporting them, their internal voice tells them, you are worthy, you are safe, you are loved. When we have children who grow up without relationships, or what we call in relational poverty, then what we see is an internal voice that says, you are not worthy, you are stupid, you are not loved. And what that ends up turning into is like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And so whenever they see bad happening to them, of course it's bad. I'm not worthy. No one loves me. I'm stupid anyway. And so that ends up turning into what we see in even our juvenile system or our adult criminal system. 80% of our prison population are former foster youth. And that should be staggering to us.
My name was Israel. Yeah, I know what I'm saying. And my mom adopted me when I was little.
I wanted the parents to stop. I wanted them to stop and just, I was like, why the drugs? Why? Raise your kid, choose your child. You know, I had spent hours walking the floor with infants that were detoxing. I had spent days with kids just brokenhearted crying for their moms and dads. And I went into the jail to teach this class to inmates on parenting, and I really went in with the thought that I was going to convince them and teach them a better way. The very first woman that I sat across from, we're knee to knee and we're talking, and you know, she's in her orange jumpsuit and her belly is 8 months pregnant, you know, and she's got tattoos all over and she looks old. Her body is just, and her face is just worn. And I looked at her and I just said, I'm trying to like have conversation. And I said, wow, that's a nice tattoo. You know, what's that tattoo for? And she goes, oh, that's my mom's name. And that's the day I killed my mother. And I'm like, wow, tell me more about that. And so she starts to talk about, as a child, being in the system, in the foster system, and how she ended up adopted. But at one point, her mother came back into her life. So here's this 13-year-old girl, and she wants nothing more than to know her mother and have a relationship and have an internal voice telling her, you are loved and worthy, and you are not just abandoned by your mother. I love you, join me. And so she did. She started using with her mom, because what child at 13 is gonna tell their mom no? And then you fast forward through years of substance use and DCS involvement because she had her own babies that were removed and adopted out. And it culminated in her mind to the event where she had gone and scored a batch of meth and drove it back to her mom's apartment and then went out again because she was going to get some food for them. And when she came back, her mom was dead, laying on the floor. And she had died from a bad batch of meth. And she said, I killed my mother that day. And I remember thinking, like, what was her choice? So every inmate I worked with, their stories mirrored this woman's, men and women, and it became this, why the pain? Because they had started drug use early to medicate this internal pain with external methods. And all those behaviors that we want to call criminal, or we want to call bad, or we want to punish, are methods they're using to medicate absolute brokenness and abandonment. We have lines and statistics that we spout out all the time about these kids. But what we don't recognize is that these are our statistics, our lines, our children in this community. It is our job to step in and walk beside these kids when they're in broken spaces. And that's why we have CASAs, and that's why we have teachers, and that's why we have foster parents and adoptive parents and community members to walk beside these kids. Because if we don't step in with relationship, then what we end up is we have a mom in prison pregnant with her 5th child who will not be getting out for 15 years because she didn't have a relationship that was building into her, you are worthy, you are loved, and you are seen. And it is our job to see these kids.
She is crazy good. She ought to wear a cape.
She's
is
amazing.
Just amazing. You know, and we watch these videos, and I'm learning more about CASA, and I think, what if there was no CASA?
That's a question I don't think any of us want to know the answer to.
Yeah,
we are better off with CASAs in our community.
Could be catastrophic. It
Absolutely.
really could be. We can prevent that. We can always have a CASA. We just need people to step up and make some bids. You know.
Absolutely.
The fund to need is probably on screen at some point. You can pay attention to that. Yeah, and we see these donation amounts. You know, it might be intimidating to some people, and that's okay. But we can accept any kind of amount.
Absolutely.
The $25, $50, the $100, that really helps a lot.
Every bit helps.
So
Any nonprofit will tell you every bit helps.
now bidding is going to be coming to a close. You can check your watches, everyone. 9 o'clock is the witching hour, so that's when they're going to shut off the bidding. But for the fund to need and for the donations and so forth, we're going to continue that for another week because you may be watching this at a later time after broadcast, after our live broadcast. So anyway, you've got another week to do that. And search your heart and find some room in there and open your wallet and make a donation.
Yep, please do.
All right. Tell us how easy it is to be a CASA volunteer.
It is easy. You can call our office at 372, I just forgot the phone number, live TV, 372-2401, or you can go to casachildren.com. We need volunteers, but as Jim was saying, we really need the donations. I've always heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a child, and these abused and neglected children, they need not only the CASAs, but it is the support of the village, of the community that allows us to do our work. So please, I'm just calling on you still to give and find it in your heart to support our organization.
Yeah, please do. A lot of people to thank.
There are a lot of people to thank, Jim. Thank you. We want to thank all of our sponsors. I want to thank all of the CASA board members, the Holiday Festival Committee. I want to thank my wonderful staff that you all got to meet tonight, especially Janelle Myers, who works tirelessly at the Holiday Fest every year. And you met Jill, and she is our creative genius between our holiday festivals. Exactly.
Real flowers.
We want to thank K21 for allowing us to shoot in your lovely building.
It is.
All of our supporters, all of our CASA volunteers. We couldn't do it without the volunteers. We want to thank our featured speakers, Judge Cates, Amber Hooderak, Dennis and Linda Birch, and of course Stacy Gagnon. Yeah. We'd also like to thank One Voice Media and who I've called our MC extraordinaire, Mr. Jim Brennan, as well.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, you know, it's an interesting organization and the things that they do. And if you want to find out more, just go to the website, casachildren.com. They'll answer a lot of questions. Or just call them. They love to talk, and they'll tell you all about it. This has been a wonderful experience for me, and thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you.
And we appreciate your help. Bidding is still on. You've got another week to bid on the fund to need items and the donations. But the silent auction ends at 9, so pay attention to that if you would, please.
Absolutely.
So we're going to wrap things up here. We've got this fun video. It's not heavy, it's just fun, lighthearted. And so you can watch that as we say goodbye and thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you.
Good night.